Here's something most men don't realize. The people around you can see you becoming a low-value man before you do. Your friends start making excuses when you invite them out. Women lose interest faster. Your family treats your opinions like background noise. And you? You're completely blind to it. You think you're fine. You think nothing's changed. But there are specific patterns everyone else is picking up on. Patterns you've normalized. Patterns that are quietly destroying how people perceive you. And by the time you finally notice, you've already lost months of respect, opportunities, and momentum. The shift happened so gradually that you missed every single warning sign. Now, you can keep pretending everything's fine, or you can face the truth. In this video, I'm breaking down 7 specific behaviors that are killing your value right now. Not theory, not fluff, just the raw signs that separate men who get taken seriously from men who get ignored. And for each one, I'm giving you exactly what to do to fix it. No second chances, no excuses, just the truth and the action plan. Here we go. Look, this video isn't about shaming you. It's not about making you feel like you're broken or worthless. That's not the point. This is about giving you a mirror, a real one. Because the truth is, most men don't have anyone in their life who will tell them the truth. Everyone's too polite, too worried about hurting feelings, too comfortable letting you stay exactly where you are. But I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to show you what's actually happening. And here's what most men don't realize. These 7 signs aren't permanent. They're patterns. And patterns can be broken. The question is, will you break them? Or will you keep pretending everything's fine while your value continues to drop? Let's go deeper. Because the cost of ignoring these signs is higher than you think. Here's what makes this so dangerous. The slide into low-value territory is invisible. There's no single moment where you cross the line. It's not like one day you wake up and suddenly you're a different person. It's gradual. It's subtle. And that's exactly why most men miss it. Think about it. When was the last time you looked at yourself honestly? Not the version you tell yourself exists, but the actual version other people experience. The one who's been skipping workouts, the one who's been avoiding hard conversations, the one who's been seeking approval instead of demanding respect. Here's the psychology. When change happens slowly, your brain normalizes it. It's called baseline adaptation. You adapt to your new normal so seamlessly that you don't even realize you've dropped your standards. 6 months ago, certain behaviors would have disgusted you. Now, you defend them. And here's the problem most men face. They wait for a wake-up call. They wait for a relationship to fall apart, a job opportunity to disappear, or a friend to finally tell them the truth. But by the time that happens, they've already trained everyone around them to see them as low value. High-value men? They don't wait for the wake-up call. They catch the signs early and course-correct immediately. That's the difference. That's what we're about to do right now. So here's what we're doing. In the next 7 sections, I'm breaking down every single sign that you're sliding into low-value territory. Number 1, your physical appearance is declining. Number 2, you've stopped pursuing real challenges. Number 3, you complain more than you create. Number 4, you're seeking validation constantly. Number 5, people don't respect your time anymore. Number 6, you avoid uncomfortable truths. And number 7, you've accepted mediocrity as your standard. For each one, I'm giving you the exact fix, not theory. Actual steps you can take today. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand and what to do about it. You'll stop wondering if you're slipping and start taking action to reverse it. Let's get into it. Sign number 1. Sign number 1. Your physical appearance is declining. And before you dismiss this as shallow, understand this. How you look is a direct reflection of how much you value yourself. Here's where most men mess up. They tell themselves it doesn't matter. They say, I'm too busy to work out, or I'll get back in shape later, or looks aren't that important. But here's the reality. Every time you look in the mirror and see someone you're not proud of, you reinforce low self-worth. And low self-worth creates low-value behavior. When you let your physical appearance slide, you're sending a message to yourself and everyone around you. You're saying, I don't care enough about myself to take care of myself. And if you don't care about yourself, why should anyone else? But here's what happens when you take your appearance seriously. When you're in shape, groomed, and dressed well, you carry yourself differently. Your confidence shifts. People treat you with more respect because you're treating yourself with respect. So here's the fix. This week, get a haircut. Tonight, go through your wardrobe and throw out anything that doesn't fit or looks worn out. Tomorrow, commit to working out 3 times a week, non-negotiable. Start with posture, shoulders back, chest up, every single time you walk through a door. Because your appearance isn't about vanity, it's about self-respect. And self-respect is the foundation of value. But here's the thing. Looking good means nothing if you're not challenging yourself. Which brings me to sign number 2. Sign number 2. You've stopped pursuing challenges. You're comfortable. You're in your routine. You wake up, go through the motions, and nothing in your life scares you anymore. And that's exactly the problem. Most men think they've figured it out. They found their comfortable job, their comfortable routine, their comfortable life. They think that's success. But here's what they don't realize. The moment you stop growing, you start dying. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally, in terms of your value as a man. Here's the psychology. Your brain is wired for growth. When you're not challenging yourself, when you're not pushing past your comfort zone, your brain interprets that as decline. You become less sharp, less motivated, less interesting, because you have nothing to talk about, nothing to strive for, nothing that makes you come alive. But when you're actively pursuing challenges, everything changes. You have energy, you have stories, you have purpose. People are drawn to men who are in expansion mode, not maintenance mode. So here's your move. Right now, identify one thing that genuinely scares you. Not uncomfortable, scared. Maybe it's public speaking. Maybe it's starting a business. Maybe it's learning a skill that requires real work. Commit to it this month. Start with something simple. If you've been taking the same route to work for years, change it. If you've been eating the same foods, try something new. Break the pattern of comfort, because comfort is the enemy of value. But here's where it gets uncomfortable, because the next sign is about how you communicate your struggles. And most men get this completely wrong. Sign number 3, you complain more than you create. And this is where a lot of men don't realize they're killing their own value. Because complaining feels productive. It feels like you're addressing problems. But here's the truth. Complaining is the language of powerlessness. Listen to yourself for the next 24 hours. Count how many times you complain about traffic, about your job, about other people, about the government, about anything. And then count how many times you actually create a solution or take action. The ratio will tell you everything. Here's what you need to understand. Every time you complain, you're positioning yourself as a victim. You're saying, this thing is happening to me and I'm powerless to change it. And when you do that repeatedly, you train your brain to see yourself as powerless. That becomes your identity. But here's the flip. When you're a creator instead of a complainer, everything shifts. A creator doesn't waste energy on problems they can't control. A creator says, what can I do about this? And then does it. That's power. That's what high-value men do. So here's the fix. Track your complaints for 1 day. Write them down. Then, for each complaint, write one action you can take. Can't stand your job? Update your resume tonight. Hate where you live? Start researching new places this weekend. Don't like how you look? We already covered that in sign 1. And here's the test. Ask yourself, would I want to spend time with me? If the answer is no, it's because you've become a complainer. Change that immediately. But complaining is passive. The next sign is about something even more insidious. Actively seeking approval from others. Sign number 4. You seek validation constantly. You need people to agree with you. You need approval for your decisions. You fish for compliments. You get defensive when someone criticizes you. And every time you do this, you're broadcasting one message: I don't trust myself. Here's where most men trap themselves. They think they're just being considerate, just getting input, just checking in. But what's really happening is they're outsourcing their self-worth. They need external confirmation that they're okay, that they're making the right choice, that they matter. And here's the psychology. The more you seek validation, the less valuable you become. Because validation seeking is a signal of insecurity. And insecurity is repulsive to everyone. Friends, women, employers, everyone. They can sense it. And when they sense it, they pull back. But here's what happens when you stop seeking validation. When you make decisions without needing everyone's approval, when you can sit with criticism without defending yourself, when you know your worth without needing others to confirm it, you become magnetic. Because confidence without arrogance is rare, and rare is valuable. So here's the fix. Start small. The next time you want to ask someone, "What do you think?" Don't. Make the decision yourself. The next time someone criticizes you, instead of defending, just say, "I appreciate your perspective," and move on. Practice sitting with disapproval. Practice being okay when people don't validate you. Because here's the truth. You are the standard. Not them, you. When you internalize that, everything changes. But validation seeking bleeds into something even more visible: how other people treat your time. And that's sign number 5. Sign number 5. People don't respect your time. They show up late. They cancel plans last minute. They interrupt you. They expect you to always be available. And you let them. Because somewhere along the way, you taught them that your time doesn't matter. Here's the hard truth most men don't want to hear. People treat you exactly how you teach them to treat you. If someone cancels on you repeatedly and you keep making yourself available, you've taught them that your time has no value. If someone interrupts you and you don't set a boundary, you've taught them that what you're saying isn't important. And here's what this really means. When you don't value your own time, you're communicating that you don't value yourself. And when you don't value yourself, nobody else will either. But watch what happens when you start enforcing boundaries. When someone cancels on you last minute and you say, "No problem, but I'm not available to reschedule for 2 weeks." When someone interrupts you and you calmly say, "Let me finish." When you stop being available 24/7 and start protecting your time like it's worth something, people adjust. The ones who respect you will respect your boundaries. The ones who don't, they'll fade away. And good riddance. Because you don't need people in your life who only stick around when you're convenient. So here's your move. Start saying no. Start setting clear expectations. If someone asks for your time, ask yourself, "Is this worth my time?" If the answer is no, say no. No explanation needed. Your time is your most valuable asset. Protect it. But here's the thing. Lack of boundaries often comes from a deeper issue. You're avoiding something. And that's sign number 6. Sign number 6. You avoid uncomfortable truths. You see the red flags, but you ignore them. You know that conversation needs to happen, but you put it off. You sense something's wrong, but you tell yourself it's fine. And every time you do this, you choose short-term comfort over long-term clarity. Most men think they're being patient or diplomatic or giving things time. But here's what's really happening. You're lying to yourself. You're pretending that ignoring a problem will make it go away, and it never does. It always gets worse. Here's the cost of avoiding uncomfortable truths. You lose respect. Your own self-respect first, because you know you're avoiding reality. And then you lose respect from others because they can sense that you're not dealing with what needs to be dealt with. They see you as weak, as someone who can't handle the hard stuff. But here's what happens when you start facing uncomfortable truths head on. When you have the difficult conversation immediately instead of waiting, when you acknowledge the red flag instead of rationalizing it, when you stop lying to yourself about what you already know, you build self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. So here's the fix. Right now, name one uncomfortable truth you've been avoiding. Write it down. Then decide, am I going to address this today, or am I going to keep pretending it doesn't exist? Have the conversation you've been putting off. Acknowledge the pattern you've been ignoring. Face the reality you've been avoiding. Because temporary discomfort now prevents permanent regret later. And this leads to the deepest sign, the one that underlies all the others. Sign number 7. Sign number 7. You've accepted mediocrity as your standard. And this is the sign that underlies everything else. Because once you accept mediocrity in one area, it bleeds into every area. You start telling yourself, good enough is good enough. And that becomes your life. Here's what most men don't understand. You don't accidentally drift toward excellence. Excellence requires intention, discipline, and standards that make most people uncomfortable. Mediocrity? That's the default. That's what happens when you stop demanding more from yourself. And here's the brutal truth. Mediocre men are invisible. Nobody remembers them. Nobody respects them. Nobody looks up to them. They exist in the background while high-value men occupy the foreground. And the only difference is standards. Think about it. When was the last time you did something excellent? Not just good. Excellent. When was the last time you refused to accept anything less than your best? When was the last time you pushed past good enough because you knew you could do better? If you can't remember, you've accepted mediocrity. And once you accept it, you become it. But here's the truth. You can choose a different standard right now. You can decide that from this moment forward, mediocrity is no longer acceptable. You can commit to excellence in one area of your life this month. Just one. Pick something. Your health, your work, your relationships, and pursue excellence in it relentlessly. Because here's what happens when you demand excellence from yourself. You become someone worth paying attention to. You become someone who commands respect. You become high value. Now that you know all 7 signs, here's the brutal truth most men won't tell you. Here's the truth most people will never tell you, and it's going to sting. But you need to hear it. Most men notice these signs and do nothing. They watch videos like this, they nod along, they think, yeah, I should probably work on that. And then they close the video and change absolutely nothing. They go right back to the same patterns, the same excuses, the same comfortable decline. And 6 months from now, they're worse, not better. Because here's what they don't understand. You're either improving or you're declining. There is no neutral. There is no maintenance mode. Every single day, you're not actively working to become better. You're passively accepting becoming worse. Now, I know how this sounds. It sounds harsh. It sounds like I'm being too hard on you. But here's the thing. I'm not your friend who's going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm the voice telling you what you need to hear. Because nobody else will. This isn't about making you feel bad. This is about making you face reality. Because the cost of ignoring reality is waking up 5 years from now and realizing you wasted the best years of your life being comfortable instead of being excellent. So ask yourself right now, are you actually going to do something different after watching this? Or are you going to be like most men, aware of the problem but unwilling to fix it? That decision, right there, determines everything. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 signs hit you the hardest? Which one did you recognize in yourself? Drop it in the comments below. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest. And here's what I want you to do. Pick one sign. Just one. The one that hit hardest. And commit to fixing it this week, not next month. Not when you feel ready, this week. You want to know the difference between men who actually change and men who just consume content? Action. That's it. The men who change take what they learn and implement it immediately. The men who stay stuck watch videos, feel motivated for 10 minutes, and then do nothing. Don't be that guy. If you're serious about this work, if you're serious about becoming high value, this channel is your accountability partner. I break down masculine development, self-improvement, and real strategies every single week. No fluff, just the truth. So subscribe if you haven't already, because the fact that you watched this entire video tells me something. You're not like most men. You're willing to look in the mirror. You're willing to do the work. Now prove it. Take action. Today.